There are two kinds of millionaires in the world, the loud ones and the quiet ones. And the difference between them isn't just about personality, it's about an entirely different philosophy of what wealth actually means and how you're supposed to relate to it. In America, millionaires announce themselves: luxury cars, designer clothes, big houses in prestigious neighborhoods, Instagram posts from exotic vacations. The message is clear: I made it, I'm successful, I want you to know. Wealth is performance, it's proof, it's status that needs to be displayed. In Japan, millionaires are invisible. They drive modest cars, they live in normal homes, they wear simple clothes. They don't post about their wealth, they don't advertise it. And if you met one, you'd have no idea they had money. Because in Japanese culture, displaying wealth isn't success, it's embarrassment, it's poor taste. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what money is actually for. And here's what's fascinating. Both countries produce millionaires, but they produce them differently. They think about wealth differently, they use money differently. And the outcomes, the quality of life, the actual security, are completely different even when the bank account balance is the same. If you've been chasing the American version of wealth and it feels exhausting, stressful, and somehow empty even when you're succeeding, what you're about to learn might change everything. Because the Japanese approach to building wealth creates something the American approach never does: peace. Let's discover together why quiet millionaires end up happier than loud ones. The American millionaire story goes like this. You start with nothing or very little. You work incredibly hard, you hustle, you sacrifice, you build a business or climb a corporate ladder, and when you finally make it, when you finally hit 7 figures, you celebrate by displaying it. The wealth is the reward, and the display proves the reward is real. This creates a very specific relationship with money. Money is for buying symbols of success: the car that announces you're wealthy, the house that proves you've arrived, the watch, the clothes, the lifestyle that broadcasts your achievement. And all of this feels earned. You worked for it, you deserve it, you should enjoy it. But here's what happens. You reach millionaire status and you spend like a millionaire. Your lifestyle inflates to match your wealth. And suddenly being a millionaire doesn't feel like enough. Because you're spending at millionaire levels, you need to maintain millionaire income. You can't relax. You can't step back. You're trapped by the lifestyle you bought to prove you succeeded. The Japanese millionaire story is completely different. You start with modest means. You work steadily, not frantically, steadily. You save consistently. You live below your means your entire life. And at some point, often in your 50s or 60s, you look at your accounts and realize you're a millionaire. You cross the line without announcing it, without changing anything, without anyone noticing. And here's the key difference. Your lifestyle never inflated. You still live in the same modest home. You still drive the same reliable car. You still wear simple clothes. Being a millionaire didn't change how you live. It just changed how secure you feel, how much freedom you have, how many options you can access without stress. Think about which version sounds more peaceful: the American millionaire who has to maintain an expensive lifestyle to prove their success, or the Japanese millionaire who has wealth but still lives simply because wealth was never about performance. The first difference: American wealth is about consumption, Japanese wealth is about security. Ask an American millionaire what wealth is for, and they'll tell you it's for living well, for enjoying life, for having nice things, for experiences, for the freedom to buy what you want when you want it. Wealth is fuel for consumption, and the more you have, the more you should consume. Ask a Japanese millionaire the same question, and they'll give you a completely different answer. Wealth is for security, for peace of mind, for knowing you and your family will be okay no matter what happens, for having options when you need them. Wealth is a buffer between you and disaster, and the more you have, the more secure you should feel, not the more you should spend. This fundamental difference creates completely different behaviors. The American millionaire upgrades their lifestyle with every wealth milestone. First million, better house. Second million, luxury car. Third million, vacation property. The spending keeps pace with the accumulation. Sometimes it outpaces it. The Japanese millionaire's lifestyle barely changes. First million, same house. Second million, same car. Third million, same life. The accumulation continues, but the consumption doesn't. The gap between wealth and spending gets wider and wider, and that gap is freedom. Think about your own relationship with money. Is it fuel for consumption or foundation for security? And which version would create more peace in your actual life? The second difference: American millionaires optimize for image, Japanese millionaires optimize for peace. American wealth culture is deeply concerned with how wealth looks from the outside. You're not just successful, you need to look successful. The car needs to announce it, the house needs to prove it, the clothes, the accessories, the social media presence, all of it is communicating, I made it. This creates constant pressure to maintain appearances. You can't downgrade, you can't simplify, you can't drive a modest car once you've driven a luxury one because people will think you're struggling. You're locked into a performance that never ends. Japanese wealth culture is the opposite. Displaying wealth is considered tasteless. Showing off is embarrassing. The wealthy person who drives a luxury car and wears designer labels is seen as insecure, not successful. as someone who needs external validation, as someone who doesn't actually understand what wealth is for. So Japanese millionaires optimize for peace instead of image. They live in homes that don't stress them financially. They drive cars that are reliable and practical. They wear clothes that are quality but simple. And because they're not performing wealth, they're free from the pressure that performance creates. This is why you can meet a Japanese millionaire and have no idea they're wealthy. They're not hiding it, they're just not advertising it. Because wealth is private, it's personal, it's between them and their family. It's not for public display. Think about how much energy you spend managing how your wealth looks to other people. How much stress comes from maintaining appearances. And what would change if you simply stopped caring what anyone else thought about your financial position? The third difference. American millionaires are leveraged. Japanese millionaires are liquid. American wealth building loves leverage. Mortgages, business loans, lines of credit. You borrow against assets to buy more assets. You use other people's money to build your wealth faster. Leverage multiplies returns, and if you're not leveraging, you're leaving money on the table. This creates millionaires who own a lot but control very little. Their net worth looks impressive on paper, but they have massive obligations, large mortgages, business debt, leveraged investments. And all of that leverage means they need continuous cash flow. They can't stop, can't slow down, can't take risks with their career because they have obligations to cover. Japanese wealth building avoids leverage almost entirely. You save, you buy with cash. You own things outright. Your home is paid off. Your car is paid off. You have no consumer debt. Your investments are fully paid. And yes, this means you accumulate wealth more slowly, but it also means the wealth you have is actually yours. Japanese millionaires often have lower net worth than American millionaires, but they have higher liquid net worth. They have more actual cash and unencumbered assets. They have fewer obligations, and that creates a completely different quality of life. The American millionaire with $3 million in leveraged assets and $1 million in obligations feels stressed. The Japanese millionaire with $2 million in liquid assets and 0 obligations feels free. Same approximate net worth, completely different experience. Think about your own financial position. How much of your wealth is actually yours versus how much is leveraged? And which number matters more for your actual peace of mind? But if those 3 differences shifted your understanding of wealth, the next 2 show why quiet wealth actually works better. The fourth difference. American millionaires retire to stop working. Japanese millionaires work because they can. In American culture, retirement is the finish line. You work your entire life so you can finally stop. You save and invest so you can eventually retire and do nothing. Work is the problem. Retirement is the solution. And the goal of wealth is to buy your way out of work as early as possible. This creates a strange relationship with work. It's something you're trying to escape, something you endure until you have enough to quit. And when you finally retire, you often don't know what to do with yourself because your identity was built around work, and now that's gone. Japanese millionaires have a completely different relationship with retirement. They don't retire to stop working. They build wealth so they can work because they want to, not because they have to. The money creates freedom to choose, to do work that matters, to contribute without stress, to slow down without stopping. Many Japanese millionaires in their 60s and 70s still work. Not full-time, not frantically, but they consult, they mentor, they run small businesses, they contribute to their communities. Not because they need the money, because they want the purpose. The wealth gave them the freedom to choose meaningful work instead of being trapped in necessary work. That's a completely different outcome than simply stopping. Think about your own retirement vision. Is it about stopping everything, or about having the freedom to choose what you do? And which version sounds more fulfilling? The fifth difference. American millionaires consume wealth. Japanese millionaires transfer it. American wealth culture is heavily focused on the person who built it. You made it. You earned it. You should enjoy it. And enjoying it means spending it on yourself, on your lifestyle, on experiences. The wealth is for you. This creates millionaires who die with far less than they accumulated, not because they lost it, because they consumed it. They treated retirement as decades of spending. They upgraded their lifestyle in retirement instead of maintaining it, and they spent down their wealth because that's what it was for. Japanese wealth culture sees wealth as multi-generational. You build it not just for yourself, but for your children and their children. The goal isn't to spend it all before you die. The goal is to transfer it intact or even grown, to create security that lasts beyond your lifetime. This creates completely different spending behavior in retirement. Japanese millionaires don't inflate their lifestyle just because they can afford to. They maintain the same modest living that built the wealth, and the wealth transfers to the next generation mostly intact. American millionaires often joke about dying broke, about spending their last dollar on their last day. Japanese millionaires would see that as failure, as selfishness, as a fundamental misunderstanding of what wealth is for. Think about your own wealth-building motivation. Is it for you to consume or for your family to benefit from across generations? And does your spending behavior align with your answer? What all of these differences reveal is that America and Japan are playing completely different games with the same pieces. Both countries produce millionaires, but they produce them with different philosophies, different behaviors, and different outcomes. American millionaires are loud because the wealth is the point. It's achievement, it's status. It needs to be displayed to be real. Japanese millionaires are quiet because the wealth is the tool. It's security, it's freedom. It works better when it's invisible. American millionaires consume and perform. Japanese millionaires save and protect. American millionaires leverage and expand. Japanese millionaires pay off and simplify. American millionaires retire to stop. Japanese millionaires continue with freedom. American millionaires spend it down. Japanese millionaires pass it on. Neither approach is objectively right or wrong, but they create very different experiences of wealth. The American millionaire often feels stressed despite their success, trapped by the lifestyle they bought, worried about maintaining it, uncertain if they have enough because enough keeps moving higher. The Japanese millionaire feels peaceful, free from obligations, unburdened by performance pressure, certain about their security because their lifestyle never inflated to match their wealth. Same millionaire status, completely different psychological experience. And here's the question worth asking. Which version do you actually want? Do you want to be a loud millionaire, to have the symbols and the status and the performance? Or do you want to be a quiet millionaire, to have the security and the peace and the freedom? Because you can build wealth either way, but you can't do both. The loud path requires consumption and display. The quiet path requires restraint and invisibility. And the path you choose determines not just how you build wealth, but how you experience it once you have it. Most people default to the American path because it's what they see. It's what's celebrated. It's what looks like success. But they don't realize there's another option, a quieter option, an option that builds wealth without stress, that creates millionaires who don't need anyone to know they're millionaires, who have money but still live simply because simple was never the problem. The Japanese prove this works. Not in theory, in actual millionaires with actual peace, in wealth that transferred across generations, in security that doesn't require performance or display or constant consumption to feel real. You can choose this path. You can build wealth quietly. You can become a millionaire that nobody knows about. And when you get there, you can keep living simply because you understand that wealth isn't for showing off. It's for security, for freedom, for peace, for options. And all of those things work better when they're quiet. If this resonated and you want to explore how to build wealth the quiet way, the Japanese way, the way that creates peace instead of pressure, subscribe to this channel. We break down Japanese financial wisdom every week. Not the loud strategies that promise quick wealth, the quiet practices that create lasting security. You'll find more guidance like this waiting for you.